This is AQA A-level Chemistry. It's a multiple choice question and it's on practical skills. I'm going to recommend you pause, have a go and then review. So on a question like this, we are really looking at the titration practical, required practical 1. We've got a 25 centimetre cubed sample of NaOH, that's going into a pipette, and we are then titrating with aqueous ethanoic acid. So the ethanoic acid goes in the burette. The concentration of the ethanoic acid calculated was lower than the actual value. So how could we explain the difference? Well, I'm going to go through and take a look at each example in turn. If we look at C, which actually, when this was in the exam, was the most common incorrect answer, rinsing the walls of the conical flask with distilled water during the titration. Now, actually, that is a valid part of the practical because you want to make sure that there are not unreacted moles on the side of the conical flask that might not get registered, which would actually mean you've got less, or you would need more ethanoic acid before you got to the end point. So it doesn't change the number of moles of what's in the conical flask at all. So we can disregard that one. If we take a look at D, rinsing the beaker with distilled water before filling with NaOH. Well, if I did that, what I'm actually doing is diluting the NaOH. That would actually give the impression of the concentration of ethanoic acid being higher. Same situation would happen if I rinsed the pipette with distilled water before filling with NaOH. And as a handy tip here, one thing that you could spot is A and D both involve the dilution of the NaOH. Now that means that one of them can't be right if the other isn't right. So we can disregard in that way as well. But it leaves us with B. If I rinse the burette with distilled water and then I add ethanoic acid, I've actually already got some water in there, so that dilutes the ethanoic acid, which increases the volume that we would need, which would make it a lower concentration. So the correct answer is B.